Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great Monday evening and that everything for everyone is, just amazing and well. Uh, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things happening. Uh, a lot of people are wondering what's going on with this, the conflict that we have, and that's interesting. Uh, but I just want to talk about something different. You've seen where in early arts that were depictions of Jesus. Jesus had a halo over his head. A halo is like a nice round circle. It just signifies purity and connection to oneness. And there's also quotes from the Bible where he says that these works are not done by me; they're through me, through the Father, and him and the Father are one. He was teaching us about these things, how to connect with your inner self, their inner guidance, or the voice that whispers, and that's that's what you'd call the Holy Spirit. And when you're in that halo, no bad thoughts can get through, and no one can interfere with what you're saying when you're talking to your friends. That's what's happening. You're in a mood where a conversation between you and any individual around you, wherever you might be, there's this connection that allows you guys to perfectly talk, right? Like a lot like a tunnel, a lot like um, you feel presence, you feel present, and you are um, just very candidly communicating and talking and listening through the Holy Spirit, getting yourself into a very Christful mood. Uh, the next thing is just the things that are going on in the world are also, in a way, they're affecting everyone. If you can imagine a deck of cards or dominoes, you know how you can tip over dominoes? Then imagine for a second that you have this domino chain, five dominoes. The physical body is the part that connects with the outer world. And the way this was explained to me was um, it's like watching a theater. You are in a movie, in a theater, a play, and you're watching the play, and you know that the characters are just in the play, but they're not the person that does the embodiment of any play that you might think of or any important figure in the world. You can make a play about anything now, so imagine a play where there's a character that's actually having to play this, or ballet where the person that's dancing is in tune with the music, but they're in that special kind of connection with the music, the 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 ambiance of the play. What makes it work is just how you choreograph, and even if you know the lines, you want to see it play out in front of you, and you want to enjoy that. That's the first domino. The second domino behind that is a higher version of yourself that's truer to your fullness, because a lot of people aren't in their full body. The less you are in your body, the more you are able to bring in other entities from outside into the physical world where you can communicate with them. So you can tell that these individuals are not fully in their body when you encounter autism, um, ADHD, and any sort of seeming cognitive issue. At varied degrees it varies, but it's still within the umbrella of a singular condition, where some might inter overlap with another in some instances, and that does happen. That's okay. But the truest nature of the form of an individual like this is that they're not fully occupying the body, so there's more of the fullness of themselves outside that can manifest themselves in this physical realm. So you'd see that they're just not fully engaged into the theater. They're not fully playing the role that everyone expects the person to play. If you're tall, you should play basketball. If you're short, you should, I don't know, be a teacher or something. I can't tell you. If you're, your aptitude for languages, then you need to learn 3 or 4, right? If your aptitude is math, you should work for NASA. So there's a obvious part of realizing that your skill set falls within any sort of category, but the category for those other individuals in the spectrum is unique, it's special, and it allows just a little more of what's in the invisible that we can't see, what's out there that we don't know about too much. Why such insight? Why so much knowing of knowledge? It just seemingly comes out of nowhere. So let's get a little more serious about that. It's very grade school stuff. The next thing I can talk to you about is these individuals that have been presenting themselves in my life for a very long time that I can remember. They're very tall. I feel that when I'm in front of them, I'm like up to their knees in height. And that's just an explanation of just how much their greatness is. And I think I felt their love, and it was 10 times the way your mother loved you as a kid. It was just, because your mother or any mom would show affection. Maybe if you hurt or bumped your knee, that she'd be there for you. But and maybe few people can attest to saying that their mom just gave them a hug and a kiss and said, "I love you" for no reason at all. Yeah, but it feels like I don't deserve this, and they're still giving this pure love to me. So they sat me in a room, and they showed me the screen again, where there are these. It looks like a chessboard because there's boxes. And they were showing me this stuff again. They showed me my symbol, the one that I remember the most, the one that they showed. You see, they showed me them all, and I looked at the one that my focus was on one single symbol there on that screen that I was standing in front of, maybe, right? Now, why did I focus on that? Just that symbol, for example, right? Why did I? Okay, right, fine, and not the others. Because that symbol represented a reflection of what was inside me at the time. And let me just put a little parenthesis here for us all. I don't want to make this video too long. So, this is just all on the fly. Imagine that you read a self-help book, and the self-help book teaches you something that you didn't know before. So you learned a lot from chapter 1 and 2. The rest of the book was, okay, I picked up a few things, but you mostly picked up on chapter 1 or 2. Now you practice what was on chapter 1 and 2 enough that one day you decide to pick up that book again. You understand now chapter 1 and 2 really don't connect with you that as before. But now chapter 3 and 4 are beginning to be more interesting. They're beginning to um, light up just a little more. There's hope there now. Is there? Yes, yes, there is. And as much as I'm going to try to fulfill the goals that I can for this lifetime, and I want to make sure that I can push as far as I can in your lifetime too, so that we can feel like we've achieved something, because we need to come out of the darkness a little more, just enough, because in those that will be kept within the darkness that chose that section of their life, it's going to be just become slightly harder for them to say, well, hey, look, yeah, that was us, and just people are just not going to interact in that manner, because then the world has moved on from that. See how easy this is? The world has advanced a little further. There's also another individual that I am willing to have this kind of communication with, but you're gonna read the chapters 4 and 5, and you're gonna go through all these, and you're going to advance more for yourself. It's gonna be easier for you to pick up on the things that you've learned. So I focus on that symbol on the screen, and that was just an example about what I'm going with this. Is that the others just weren't relevant to me at all. It was just gibberish, if anything. And the one that reflected me the most, my chapter 1, my chapter 2, or whatever, was that symbol that I saw for myself. So they came back to me and they said, just recently, that we were all going to learn. And I think I mentioned this before. We were all going to be sitting there in that room, and we're going to learn a lot. Like us are going to start picking up on things that we're supposed to learn. To put it in simpler terms, the planet Earth is like a school. In that school, you're learning, and in that school, there's different grades. In the high school, there's 4 different grades. And when you look at others, you think of them and think, well, they're just going through their unique experience for themselves, because that's what they need to go through. And our lives will interject, and we'll bump into each other, and we'll cause interference, friendliness, recognition, or outright, polar opposites in cases where we're just not really vibing. Maybe this just wasn't meant to happen in that case. But things are going to start to smoothen out, right? There's just going to be an analog wave up and down of things that are going to start manifesting themselves. If you want to say, for the sake of just what is it, where's the insight coming from? Just remember that we're in a quantum paradox. We're in a quantum paradox field. And there's these terms used that quite put it correctly in the simplest terms, so you can understand that if a moth or a butterfly flaps their wings in Western Africa, it can cause a tornado in the Caribbean. So it's not like you're going to walk on eggshells through the rest of your life. But you want to follow the values of Christ, which I mentioned earlier to you. You're going to just be more of a Christ, more of, you're going to bring in more of your Christ consciousness, the way of the Christ, to yourself. And then work yourself once through every step to where you feel comfortable, and you start making progress. The person that's in denial, that chooses to do this, could 1 week in January 2026 be here, and trust me, in January 2027, if they've practiced through and through, they'll see and understand that they've become this different person all on their own. And the people don't change. The book that you're reading on self-help with all these beautiful chapters, that doesn't change. What does change is the individual and the world around them that is different. But is it really different? Did the world really change? So we can all change the world if we all practice the things that are meant to be good, right? So keep in mind Christ is halo. Keep in mind that that's a beautiful protection that has been granted because you wished it that way. Okay? Also, remember that the lessons in life that you don't overcome are going to come back to you. And you have to be vigilant to understand those things that are coming back and why are these things popping up to me? And those things that do come up, that you don't want to have to deal with this kind of energy, go ahead, send it on its best way with the best positive intentions and say, I've learned my lesson through this. I am ready to move on to something else, and let that something else reach you whenever it needs to, however it needs to come. Just be mindful of wishing it a great experience for itself once you've noticed that you've come across another situation as you've repeated previously. You don't want to have that kind of experience anymore, and you're ready to move on with it. Okay? And let's see, now I've kind of lost track here for a second. Well, then I guess those are the important things you should be mindful of. I think that's good enough for now. If I missed anything or if I remember anything, I'll bring it up next time. But again, this is a video on the fly, just how I like to do them. And we will meet again and continue to navigate this beautiful world together. And those that are in the shadows that need to come out, that need to express themselves positively, do it on your own terms where it feels comfortable. And this is a great time to be alive, and I'm gonna try and make the best of it because that's just how we get along and how we understand each other at a very deep level. So it's only gonna get better, guys. I'd like to thank every one of you for watching these videos. I'd like for you not to focus so much on the current events. You can definitely talk about it, but put yourself like this is behind us and we're going to move forward with things that are going on, which is yet another obstacle for humanity that we can all have dialogue about, and we can all pick at and put together for ourselves and learn what we need to learn from it so we can all continue going forward as an individual, as a nation, as a planet. Thank you for watching, and till next time.